Good morning, welcome to my channel. We arrived in Italy last night. Horrible experience at Heathrow Airport in London, as usual. Is the worst airport in the world, I swear. It's such a mess. We were dropping off our bags you just drop them off and get them tagged. It took us 45 minutes to drop off the bags because they have kiosks doing everything. And as usual, it takes 2 to 3 times longer to use the kiosk because it wasn't working properly. And they only had 2 people working at the baggage area. Great way to start the vacation. It's hot as fuck in here. I don't understand why Europe doesn't have fans. Wherever I go in Europe, they never have fans. I'm so dehydrated. You ask for water, you have to ask for it 3 times just to get tap water. I'm freaking starving and I'm really fed up and I'm really hot. We better get in some water soon because I'm ready to swim.
On a happier note, here is a tour of the room we stayed in Rome. Really old building, of course, which is, typical in Europe. Really like that. Some historical architecture. We actually went in the elevator. I didn't get a clip of it, I guess, but the elevator was one of those old-fashioned things where you have to shut the gate and then you go up. It was pretty cool. I liked it. But we really only used it if we were taking our suitcases up because there's just, a couple staircases. I do want to add as well that it is a privilege to travel, of course, but I was a bit frustrated at this point in the trip and got even more frustrated that day. It was just, I did not know what the itinerary was for this trip because I did not plan it. I kind of just piggybacked on it. I thought we were just spending the night in Rome. I didn't know we were going to be doing 2 entire days. It was just, super hot and crowded. Of course, it's a tourist destination, but there were just tons of pickpockets around, scammers. So you were constantly clutching your bag. I had a little fanny pack from US Mission Darkness, which I will link below. It's a Faraday bag, but anyway, it prevents scammers from swiping your credit cards and stuff like that. So it is not sponsored, but I just prefer to be in rural areas when I travel. I don't like being in the city or anything like that. There was also, the breakfast was terrible here. Like, Italian breakfasts are terrible, but the lunch and dinner, of course, are amazing. Just absolutely great food. It's like 7-course meals. The wine, of course, is great, but the breakfast was super light. I guess they're just saving up for those huge meals later in the day. And the culture here was stay up late. Like, some people would have dinner at like 9-10 o'clock at night and then they would sleep in. So that was interesting, but I do like to get up at like 6 o'clock and eat and have a full breakfast and then get my coffee. Oh, the coffee, it was so disgusting. I'm sorry. They watered down black coffee and then they would dump sugar in it without you asking for sugar. It was just like, oh. They had plenty of restaurants around with just little sidewalk seating, and then they would have these barriers up like lattice or plants or sometimes just plastic. And it was to keep, I guess, people from the street from coming up, but especially pickpockets. There's a huge problem with pickpockets just coming up and snatching people's wallets, phones, purses, etc. off tables. The restaurant workers would come out and solicit people from the street. It was pretty funny. It was like they were, trying to sell you something, I guess food, which, hey, fine by me. And they would come and like wave their menus in your face and stuff and get you to come sit down, which, again, we didn't really mind. Plenty of drinks, plenty of food. I love the Neapolitan pizza. It's so much healthier than the American pizza. So this was the Vatican City. It's the smallest country in the world. There were hundreds, maybe 1,000 people in line waiting to go in. You did have to pre-book tickets online, and this was the case with pretty much everything in Rome, including the Colosseum. One unfortunate common thing I did notice in Italy was some of the restaurant servers. This was not everywhere, but in Rome, we saw restaurant servers catcalling women walking by on the street while they were working. It was quite crazy. The sexual harassment and just the culture in Italy is not surprising. I had always heard that it was pretty bad. Italian-American culture is like that as well. It's very rapey. Follow me for more travel content.